I was sitting in that sterile doctor's waiting room, the kind with faded green plastic chairs that stick to your legs on a warm day, when my phone buzzed in my purse. It was Angela, my only daughter. Her voice came through the line like a stranger's, cold, clipped, without a trace of the warmth I'd raised her with for 45 years. Mom, we're going on a trip to Europe tomorrow. I already sold your beach house and your car. We needed the money. Bye. And just like that, she hung up. No goodbye, no explanation, no hint of remorse. I sat there, staring at the screen as it went dark, the murmurs of other patients fading into a distant hum. My hands trembled slightly, but I didn't cry. Instead, a strange calm washed over me, like the quiet before a storm. Because in that moment, something stirred inside, a memory I buried under grief. My name is Antonia Brooks. I'm 71 years old, and until that call, I thought I knew my daughter. But as I waited for the nurse to call my name, I realized she didn't know me at all. Let me take you back to how things were before that phone call shattered everything. My life had always been simple, rooted in the rhythms of family and quiet devotion. Robert and I met when we were young. Him, a bus driver with calloused hands and a gentle smile. Me, a school teacher who loved nothing more than a good book and a home cooked meal. We built our world together in a modest, two-story house on Elm Street. The one with the creaky wooden porch where we'd sit every evening, watching the neighborhood wind down. The scent of his aftershave, fresh like pine and soap, still lingers in my mind even now. We'd been married 45 years, raising Angela with all the love we could muster. She was our miracle, born after years of hoping, with her father's bright eyes and my stubborn streak. Mornings were sacred. Robert would rise first, his slippers shuffling across the linoleum kitchen floor as he brewed coffee. I'd wake to the rich aroma wafting upstairs, pulling me from sleep. "Good morning, my love," he'd say, kissing my forehead as he set down my mug. Just the right amount of cream, no sugar. We'd eat toast together at the small oak table, butter melting into the warm bread, talking about nothing and everything. Angela grew up in that routine, her laughter filling the house like sunlight. As a child, she'd climb onto Robert's lap, her tiny fingers tracing the lines on his face while he read her stories. "Daddy, tell me about the beach house," she'd beg. And he'd spin tales of the cream-colored cottage we bought when she was 15, our sanctuary by the ocean. The beach house was more than bricks and mortar. It was our heart. We scrimped and saved for it, Robert working overtime shifts, me tutoring after school. Every summer we'd pack the old Ford pickup truck, the one he babied like a child, washing it every Sunday under the shade of our maple tree. The drive there was filled with Angela's excited chatter, the windows down, salt air teasing us miles before we arrived. We'd build sandcastles on the shore, the waves lapping at our toes, cold and invigorating. Birthdays were celebrated with barbecues on the porch, the smoky scent of grilled fish mingling with laughter. Even Christmases, too. Twinkling lights strung along the railing, Angela unwrapping gifts by the fire, her face glowing. Even after she married Edward, she'd bring him along. I'd cook for everyone, roast chicken with herbs from the garden, fresh salads, and clean up afterwards, happy to see my family together. Edward was always polite but distant, his smiles never quite reaching his eyes. I chalked it up to shyness. Robert's truck was his pride. That old Ford with its faded blue paint and the faint scent of oil and leather seats carried us through life. He'd park it meticulously under the tree to avoid bird droppings, change the oil like clockwork. "This truck's seen us through and thick, Antonia," he'd say, patting the hood like an old friend. After Angela moved out, it became our companion for grocery runs and quiet drives. Life felt steady, predictable, like the ticking of the grandfather clock in our living room. But 6 months ago, everything changed. We were at breakfast, same as always, coffee steaming, toast crunching under my knife, when Robert clutched his chest. His face went pale, eyes wide with surprise. "Antonia," he whispered, and then he was gone. "A heart attack," the doctor said. Just like that, my world tilted. The house felt empty without his shuffle, his kiss, his voice. Angela stepped in then, or so I thought. She visited 3 times a week, her heels clicking on the hardwood as she helped with funeral arrangements. She'd drive me to the store, her hand on my arm, saying, "Mom, you need to take better care of yourself now that you're alone." Her smile seemed loving, her hugs firm. She even suggested this doctor's checkup, fussing over me like the daughter I'd always known. Grief wrapped around me like a heavy blanket, muffling the days. I moved through them mechanically, watering the plants on the windowsill, their leaves soft under my fingers, folding laundry that still carried Robert's faint scent, staring at family photos on the mantle, Angela's 5-year-old self beaming from Robert's lap. I trusted her completely. She was my anchor in the storm. Little did I know, the real storm was brewing, hidden in her calculated kindness. The first hints that something was off came subtly, like cracks in a foundation you don't notice until the rain seeps in. After Robert's death, Angela's visits felt comforting at first. Her car pulling up the driveway with a soft crunch of gravel, her knock on the door firm and reassuring. She'd bring groceries, bags rustling with fresh produce and canned soups, saying, "Mom, you can't live on tea and toast forever." I'd nod, grateful, as she unpacked them into the fridge, the cold air brushing my face when she opened the door. But there were small things that nagged at me, like the way she'd linger in Robert's study, flipping through his old files with a casualness that didn't sit right. "Just organizing, Mom," she'd say, her voice light, but her eyes scanning the papers a beat too long. One afternoon, about a month after the funeral, she suggested I sign some documents. The house was quiet, the only sound the distant hum of the neighbor's lawnmower. She spread them on the kitchen table, the pages crisp and official-looking, smelling faintly of printer ink. "These are just to make things easier for the inheritance and bills," she explained, handing me a pen. Her nails were perfectly manicured, a deep red that caught the light. I was still numb from grief, my mind foggy, so I signed without reading closely, my signature shaky on the dotted lines. "Thanks, Mom. This will help a lot," she said, folding them away quickly. Edward was there that day, hovering in the doorway, his cologne sharp and overpowering. He smiled thinly, but his foot tapped impatiently against the floorboard. As weeks passed, Angela's tone shifted ever so slightly. During our grocery trips, she'd comment on the house. "It's getting a bit run down, isn't it? Maybe time for something smaller." Or the beach house. "Do you really need that place now, Mom? It's so much upkeep." I'd brush it off, chalking it up to concern. But a quiet unease settled in my chest, like the weight of an unspoken secret. She started asking about finances more often, her questions probing. "What did Dad leave in the bank exactly?" she'd inquire over coffee, stirring her spoon with a soft clink against the mug. I'd tell her it was modest, enough for me to get by, and she'd nod, but her eyes would drift, thoughtful. Then came the day she suggested the doctor's visit. "Mom, you're not yourself lately. Let's get you checked out," she said, her hand on mine, warm but insistent. I agreed, thinking it was kindness. The waiting room was crowded that morning, the air thick with the scent of antiseptic and stale magazines. People coughed softly, pages rustled, a child whined in the corner. That's when the phone rang, Angela's name flashing on the screen. Her words hit like a slap. The sale of the beach house, the car, the casual, "We need the money." Click. Mine went dead, and the room spun for a moment. But as I sat there, the plastic chair creaking under me, that calm descended. Because suddenly, I remembered the envelope. 3 days before Robert died, he handed
envelope in mine. Antonia, put this in your dresser drawer. If something happens to me, open it after a while, but only when you feel ready. His voice was soft, his eyes kind, but there was a seriousness there I'd rarely seen. I nodded, tucking it away amid my scarves and jewelry, the paper crinkling slightly. Grief had buried it from my mind, until now. The nurse called my name then, her voice cutting through the haze. Mrs. Brooks? I stood, legs steady despite everything, and went in for the checkup. The doctor poked and prodded, his stethoscope cold against my skin, and pronounced me healthy for my age. Just rest more, eat better, he said, scribbling on his pad. I smiled politely, but my thoughts were miles away, on that envelope, on Angela's cold voice, on Edward's shadow behind it all. Leaving the office, the sun hit my face, warm and indifferent. No car to drive home in now, according to Angela. I walked to the bus stop, my sensible shoes clicking on the sidewalk, the breeze carrying the faint smell of exhaust and blooming lilacs from a nearby yard. People hurried past, absorbed in their own worlds, a young mother pushing a stroller, an old man with a newspaper tucked under his arm. I sat on the bench, the metal cool through my dress, and waited. Strangely, a smile tugged at my lips. Poetic, really. My daughter thought she'd strip me bare, but Robert had always been one step ahead, his quiet wisdom like the roots of that old maple tree, deep and unshakable. The bus arrived with a hiss of brakes, and I boarded, finding a seat by the window. The city blurred by, neat rows of houses, corner stores with faded signs, pedestrians crossing at lights. Each had their own stories, their own hidden pains and secrets. Mine was waiting at home, in that drawer. When I arrived, the house greeted me with its familiar quiet. The tick of the clock, the faint scent of lemon polish from last week's cleaning. I went straight to my bedroom, the carpet soft underfoot, and opened the dresser. There it was, the envelope, Robert's neat handwriting spelling my name on the front. My fingers trembled as I lifted it, feeling the weight of papers inside. I sat on the bed, the quilt Robert loved bunching under me, and took a deep breath. Outside, dusk was falling, shadows lengthening across the room. I tore it open slowly, the seal giving way with a soft rip. What spilled out took my breath away. Deeds, bank certificates, a handwritten letter. Tears blurred my vision as I read Robert's words. My dear Antonia, if you're reading this, I'm no longer with you. Forgive me for not telling you sooner. I wanted to spare you worries. He'd invested our savings wisely over the years. Properties, businesses, shares. Not just the beach house, but 6 others. Rental homes in quiet neighborhoods, a downtown condo, a small coastal motel, and the apartment building where Angela and Edward lived. A 20-story tower, sleek and modern, that he'd owned silently for a decade through a company I'd never heard of. And I was the sole heir? Bank statements showed accounts with figures that made my head spin. Millions quietly multiplied from every sacrifice we'd made. Robert, the Humo bus driver, had been a shrewd investor, turning pennies into a fortune without a word. In the letter, he explained, I kept it secret so Angela would love us for us, not our money. You know how she is, my love. If she knew, things might change. Irony twisted in my gut. She'd betrayed us thinking we had nothing when we had everything. That night, I paced the house, fingers trailing over the worn furniture Angela had called outdated, gazing at photos on the wall, her as a child laughing on Robert's lap. Where had that girl gone? When had cold calculation replaced her warmth? The phone rang early the next morning, jarring me from sleep. Angela again, her voice softer now, like honey over ice. Mom, how are you? We transferred your share, 30%. It's not much, but it'll help for a few months. My share of my own things. I kept my tone even. When do you leave? This afternoon. We'll be gone 6 months, maybe more. Don't worry, we'll help you find a small apartment when we return. Fits my needs, she said, as if she knew them. Have a safe trip. Oh, Mom, I knew you'd understand. We love you. Click. I stood there, phone in hand, and laughed. A deep, freeing sound I hadn't made since Robert's death. Absurd, comical even. She'd robbed me to fund a doomed adventure, discarding 45 years of love in a call. But the hurt wasn't the money. It was the ease of it.
I checked my bank account that afternoon, fingers hovering over the keyboard in Robert's study, the room still carrying the faint, musty scent of his old books. Sure enough, a deposit, 30% of what they'd sold the beach house and truck for. A pittance, really. They'd undervalued everything in their haste. The beach house, worth twice what they got, reduced to quick cash. The truck, Robert's faithful companion, gone for scraps. From my window, I watched them load suitcases into a cab, Angela with her designer carry-on, Edward hauling bulky bags, their laughter floating up like mocking echoes. They kissed, excited as newlyweds, never glancing my way. No wave, no final look. The cab pulled away, tires crunching gravel, and I sat in the kitchen with tea steaming in my mug, Robert's documents fanned out like a winning wind. I had decisions to make. Rage simmered, but it was cool, focused, not the hot tears of betrayal. I could call the police, scream fraud, drag Angela through courts. But no, there was a better way, one that honored Robert's wisdom. Teach her, not destroy her. I dialed Mr. Peterson, the lawyer who'd handled Robert's will. His voice was warm, familiar from the funeral. Handshake firm, condolences sincere. Mrs. Brooks, good to hear from you. How can I help? I found some documents from Robert. I need to see you urgently. Come tomorrow morning. That night, sleeping deep and dreamless for the first time since Robert's passing, I woke to sunlight slanting through the blinds, a bird chirping outside like a gentle reminder. I dressed carefully, the wine-colored dress Robert loved, its fabric soft against my skin, saying it made me look elegant. Hair pinned back, a touch of lipstick. In the mirror, I saw strength, not the frail widow Angela imagined. Mr. Peterson's office was downtown, marble floors echoing my steps, large windows framing the bustling street below. He greeted me with coffee, steam curling up, but his face shifted when I showed the envelope. This is remarkable, Mrs. Brooks. Robert was astute. He confirmed it all, legitimate, mine by right. The beach house sale? Illegal. We can reclaim it, pursue fraud charges. No, I said, voice steady. Not yet. Keep it secret, nullify the sale discreetly, and help me control the properties, especially Angela's building. He raised an eyebrow, but nodded. As you wish. Leaving, the city air felt alive. Horns honking, pedestrians weaving, the smell of street vendors' hot dogs mingling with exhaust. I had a plan now, a double life, the abandoned widow outside, the empowered owner within. Weeks blurred into a strange routine. Mornings, I played the part, grocery shopping, neighbors' pitying nods. Aurora, my next-door friend, stopped by often, her knitting needles clicking as she sat on the porch. Antonia, is it true Angela left you high and dry? Yes, off to Europe with Edward. How will you manage? Robert didn't leave much. I'd smile faintly, stirring my tea, the spoon clinking. I'll be fine. Inside, I savored the irony. Afternoons, I'd pore over documents, phone Mr. Peterson for updates, his calls punctual, voice efficient. Progress on the beach house, he'd say. I visited it once, bus ride lulling me with familiar bumps. Sitting across the street, cream paint, porch overlooking waves crashing softly. An older man emerged, spotting me. You all right, ma'am? Just remembering old owners. He shared the tale, told the sale was for a sick elderly lady, handled by her daughter. Lies, all of it. My heart ached, not for the loss, but Angela's deceit. Mr. Peterson called midweek. Beach house reclaimed, buyers refunded, no fuss. Good. And the building? 2 more weeks for full control. I hung up, coffee bitter on my tongue, thinking of Angela's silence. No calls from Europe, no postcards. She had erased me. But soon, reality would bite. Aurora brought gossip. Edward's in debt trouble. Loans on that apartment, but it's not his. I feigned surprise, heart quickening. Edward's web unraveling, just as I hoped. Then the call came. Angela, voice cracked. Mom, I need to talk. Desperate, alone at the airport. Edward had fled with another woman.
Received an eviction notice from Robert Investments. I kept calm. Strange. Come over. She arrived looking shattered, pale, circles under eyes, clothes rumpled like slept-in linens. Mom, she said at the door, hesitating before a hug. I led her to the kitchen, poured coffee, its aroma grounding. She spilled it all. Edward's lies, no business, just escape. Debts in her name, forged signatures. Can I stay here? Desperation in her eyes. Of course, I said, hugging back but with calculation now. She moved in next day, suitcases thumping upstairs to her old room, humiliation in her unpacking, luxury life to childhood bed. Among Edward's things, another envelope, my name in Robert's hand. Inside, a key to a safety deposit box, letter, for when Angela needs help, use wisely. Jewels worth $200,000. Angela's eyes lit, hope. We could sell, pay debts, but even then, her focus, Edward's mess first. Mr. Peterson investigated debts, over $200,000, fraud provable. I let Angela struggle, job hunting, tears at night. She took a cleaning job, uniform crisp but ill-fitting. Hard but necessary, she'd say. Feet sore, dignity budding. Aurora noted the change. She's humble now. Angela confessed regrets over dinner, voice soft. I ruined everything Dad built. Genuine remorse flickered. Mr. Peterson located Edward. Fake marriage in Paris, arrest looming. Evidence to clear Angela. I arranged the meeting, telling her, a lawyer to help. In his office, documents revealed her shock as truth unfolded. You knew. Why let me suffer? To learn value of family, respect, tears, understanding. Debts cleared, property's mine. She quit cleaning? No. Kept it. Learning effort's worth. Resolution came not in a rush, but in quiet waves, like the tide reclaiming the shore. After the meeting in Mr. Peterson's office, Angela and I walked home in silence. The city sounds, car horns, footsteps, distant chatter, fading into the background. Her face was a mix of awe and sorrow, eyes red-rimmed, but clearer than they'd been in weeks. At home, she sat at the kitchen table, fingers tracing the wood grain where Robert used to rest his elbows. Mom, I need time to process this, she said, voice soft, like a whisper against the ticking clock. I nodded, pouring us tea, chamomile, its floral scent soothing the air. Take all the time you need. She kept the cleaning job, her shifts starting as dusk fell, the front door clicking shut behind her. I'd hear her return late, footsteps light on the stairs, the faint rustle of her uniform as she hung it up. One evening she came back with calloused hands, smelling faintly of lemon cleaner. Mrs. Johnson asked about you today, she said, sinking into a chair. Told her you're the strongest woman I know. Pride swelled in me, but I kept it hidden, stirring soup on the stove, its steam warm on my face. Angela was rebuilding, not with my money, but her own grit. Weeks turned to months. Angela enrolled in night classes for social work, her books spread on the table under the lamplight, pages turning with a soft whisper. I want to help women like me, betrayed, starting over, she'd say, highlighter squeaking across text. I supported quietly, slipping a new notebook into her bag, brewing coffee for late studies. The foundation we started took shape, using the beach house as a shelter. We drove there one weekend, the truck's engine humming familiarly, salt air growing stronger. Angela hammered shelves on the porch Robert built, her swings steady, sweat beading on her brow. This place saved us once, she said, pausing to wipe her face. Now it'll save others. Edward's deportation made the news quietly. Aurora brought the paper over, folding it on the table with a knowing look. That rat's getting what he deserves. Angela read it without flinching, her teacup steady in hand. It's over, she said simply. No tears, no rage, just closure. She forgave, but from afar, focusing on her growth. Neighbors whispered, Angela's return, her humility, my quiet strength. Aurora confided over fence chats, her voice low. You're a wise one, Antonia.
teaching her without breaking her. I smiled, pruning roses, thorns pricking lightly. Love sometimes means tough lessons. Healing deepened in small moments. Dinners together, laughter returning like an old friend, Angela mimicking Edward's pompous tone, us giggling over pasta, sauce simmering rich and garlicky. She paid half the bills from her earnings, insisting, her check sliding across the table. Partners, Mom. I accepted, our bond shifting, not dependency, but equality. One night, under stars on the porch, she took my hand. Thank you for not rescuing me too soon. I needed to find my own feet. Tears came then, mine mingling with hers, the night air cool and forgiving. 6 months on, life bloomed anew. Angela graduated her program, diploma crisp in her hands, pride in her eyes. The foundation thrived. Women at the beach house, their stories echoing ours. I visited often, hearing laughter from the porch, smelling fresh-baked bread from the kitchen. Angela led groups, her voice steady, sharing her journey without shame. I hit bottom, but rose stronger. Edward's spirit felt present in the waves, the house, our renewed family.